Saludos y bienvenidos everybody to the PGP podcast. Hey everybody, Josh Tobat, proud principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland ISD, Garland, USA, ready for episode 80, Culture First Classrooms. So important, especially right now at this time of the year. You know what? I always consider this the Hiroshima and then Nagasaki, like in March, April, because nerves become very frail. People get to their last nerve with their colleagues, with kids, with 6'7", 6'7". They become all that. But you know what? It's about creating those proactive activities. And our awesome panel guests will talk to you about that. But before you know that, we are part of the Fantastic Four Network. We're part of a network of 4 podcasts, cuatro, señores, cuatro, every Super Saturday with Sean Hurt. Data. You want to know about data? That's your cat. About a system, the doctors, which is Sheikah and Tammy, Dr. Houston, Dr. Taylor. And you can't finish without El Jefe, Principal Cafele, finishing it out. But on Sunday, the PGP podcast, the last batter, because we know that we hit a home run. Like Jefe takes out that Louisville Slugger, and we hit a home run out there. So please make sure that you like and share it. The number one thing out there in life is time, and that's not a guarantee. That's one of the things that's not a guarantee, and you're giving us some of your time. So we want to thank you. We want to thank you for being here, part of the podcast. So please like and share it. There's no monetary, trust me, there is no money coming over here at all. No pesos, no Liberian dollars, no American greenbacks. It's about making sure that we learn from each other, because you know what? Iron sharpens iron. And if you want to be part of this podcast, please reach out to us. We need you from Maine. We need you in Florida. We need you in Alaska. We need you in Hawaii and all the 48 middle. We want you because we're facing the same challenges. We're going through the same obstacles, lack of funding, lack of finding certified teachers in the classroom, all of that stuff, discipline issues. And the only way we're going to do it is by learning from each other, because you know what? Iron sharpens iron. And today we have somebody on a sabbatical. I don't know where in Africa Dr. Moreno is. I have no idea. So I said, you know what? That's why it's called the Fantastic Four Network. And we've got tons of awesome educators out there. So out of the state of Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, I said, I dialed up that number. Let me show my age. I dialed up that number. And I reached out to Dr. Melissa Jones Chunu to come and join us. Hey, Dr. Chunu, thank you for being here. Introduce yourself to the family.
Hey, everybody. My name is Dr. Melissa Jones Chunu. I am a native Tulsan. I have been in education now. This is year 25 for me. Started off teaching music for 17 years in both elementary and high school. And now I am an assistant principal at McKinley Elementary School. We are the Eagles and we soar very high. I love singing. I love to travel, and I love to eat. love to eat.
It.
I'm so grateful to be on this show. Thank you, Josh, for inviting me to be on here. I appreciate your encouragement. I appreciate your mentorship. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Very kind for your words. I need to send Dr. Darren Peppert a quick email. So, Melissa, tell the audience while I do this real quick. What was your PhD about? What was your dissertation? Tell the audience, because you know there's somebody out there sitting on that dissertation. Tell them about yours.
Okay, so the title of my dissertation was Exploring Stakeholders' Perceptions of Interventions Used to Promote the Emotional Well-Being of Students at Greenwood Leadership Academy. And we know that school is all about academics, but it is also another component that we must not ignore, which is the emotional well-being of our students. In my studies, I found that since 2020, there have been over 350 school shootings. And the number one cause of those shootings was students' lack of sense of belonging. That is directly correlated with emotional well-being of students. And so relationships they're huge. Relationships are the foundation, because kids don't care what you know until they know that you care about them. Okay. Listen, kids can learn whatever they want to learn on this internet. Okay. So we have to make our jobs as educators relevant. why are we in school? What is our purpose? Like, we have to go back to our why. And yes, academics are very important, but if you don't have that foundation, if you don't have that relationship, hey, you don't have it, you have nothing.
Right.
Nothing at
So
all.
true. And I'm glad you shared that real quick because it ties in perfectly with my chinchilagua moment. Is that you're like, chinchilagua, Josh, how do you eat that? How do you, Katie's like, chinchilagua, does that go with guacamole? Darren's like, chinchilagua goes with refried beans, right? No, chinchilagua is a Mexican game that you line up your family and you yell, chinchilagua y arriba, boy, and you run and you jump on top of your cousin. Then the next Hispanic goes and jump and it becomes a human pyramid. And you keep on going until it all comes crashing down. It's all fun and games until it comes down. Well, my chinchilagua moment today is, you know what? We are such in a blessed profession. The second our scholars learn something and you get the pop, you know what I'm talking about, when your favorite concert person that you paid $1,000 to go see them, and it all goes dark, everyone yells, ah, that pop. When you teach something new to a kid, there's a pop. Whenever you visit a kid at their football game because they invited you and they run after you and they're like, oh, you're here, there's a pop. When they run into you and they run into you like at a Kroger, at a Tom Thumb, at a Safeway, and they can't believe that you go to grocery stores, that's a pop. It's those connections that we need. Well, my moment is this: we got to keep on doing that, but that needs to keep on going from July. In Texas, we start in July all the way through the year. You can't give up on looking at the positive. Melissa, this whole week, because of your algorithm follows you, I just started on my algorithm on TikTok was seeing educators crying about how frustrated they are. And you know how the algorithm, especially that poison heroin TikTok algorithm.
Yeah.
And I just kept seeing all of these about kids control the classroom and administrators don't do nothing. And I want to quit teaching. And why are there so many subs? Because people don't want to go into teaching. Hey, folks.
It's real.
I've been saying this for years. Part of the problem, I love you. This is year 33 for me. I love you. I love my field. But we need to stop putting down our profession. Yes, there's error. You don't think there's problems at UPS? You don't think there's problems at a QT? You don't think there's problems at 7-Eleven? You don't think there's problems at Google or at Walmart with bad leadership or bad coworkers? That's universal. But the thing is that we're in the profession that changes and molds this country. We're in the profession that inspires other individuals. And what do is we need to keep on breathing life into each other and into our scholars. And the second that we stop doing that because, oh, that's too immature. They don't listen or anything. No, go listen to Rita. Go listen to her TED Talk and it will inspire you once again. Find that one reason. I'm not going to say find your why. I'm not going to tell you that. Because if you really believe in what you're doing, you don't have to look for a why. And if you're frustrated, hey guys, if you're frustrated right now, educators, we are free agents. Go to a different school. Go to a different district. Get out of that. If you feel that principal, that assistant principal, that department head, or your teams are toxic, just leave. Okay. I can guarantee you will find your happiness. Again, I'm telling you this is my 13th school. 13th. And let me tell you, the grass is not always greener on the other side. The grass is green when you make it green. So we have to keep on speaking life into our scholars, speaking life into our profession. And, I tell you this with much love and much respect. If you think you need to tap out because you're hurting the future of America. You're hurting that kid that probably did go in with a good attitude. And you know how some kids that misbehave, Melissa, you know this, and I'll hand it over to you. There's some kids that say, I really wanted to change, and I behaved for one day in a row, but then Mrs. Smith got on my case again. And I tried to correct myself, but she jumped out. Well, Ms. Smith was tired of you because of the last 19 times. and it's that little white dog chasing his tail. We need to love each other, speak life. And you know what? If you need to yell at somebody, reach out to the PGP podcast and yell at me. I will not be offended. Just don't put it on TikTok. Don't put it on social media. Don't put it out there because that kid right now that's a freshman or sophomore at college or university, why would they want to go in and build? Like Robin Jackson says, why would they want to go into our profession when our own people doing the work are putting it down. So we need to keep on speaking life into our profession every single last day to avoid Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Dr. Jones Chunu, what are your thoughts?
Oh my goodness. I tell you what you said was absolutely powerful. And I'm glad you said you don't have to give a why, but you do have a purpose. There's a purpose for you being in every building. And if you don't find your purpose, it is time for you to move on. The putting down of our education profession, that stops. That needs to stop now. And we have to, like you said, we have to build each other up. And that all comes with relationships. That's authentic relationships. So we have to do that work. We have to do the work. It is a work. It's not something that's just gonna happen right away. You literally have to work on how you want the culture of your school to be. And we're looking at it now. We're looking at our professional development for January, what we're going to do for our own building, and who we're going to bring in. Yes, you might have to bring some people in. In fact, I encourage people to bring other people in because they have a different view of what's going on. And sometimes, I mean, we find this out with our own students. Sometimes you can say something 1,000 times, and then you bring in the guests, and they say the same thing you've been saying, and the kids will hear it. Oh, but I've been saying this since the beginning of school. It's just the way life works. So yeah, definitely we got to work on that culture, and that culture is huge.
And that's what we got these awesome guests today talking about culture in their brand new book. But a little flashback if you want to see Darren Pepper and that publishing company of his on the road to awesome. I love that cat. He was on episode 10 early in the PGP podcast. Also, this lady, Melissa Jones Chunu, was part of episode 30, the assistant principal roundtable. And Miss Katie Kinder was part of our happy show where I bring in a bunch of edu-stars to lighten up and inspire. And so I want to be straight out and welcome our guests. And let me tell you right now, I'm going to be afraid. Josh hired these two guys to come to Memorial Pathway Academy because you know what? They bring the fire. So hey, educator, look at me. Hey, principal, I know you have Title I money and you hardly used it. Come on, look at me. Especially you guys in the big schools. Mm-hmm. I know you have like $300,000. If you got a 6A school, like 3,000. I know you got like around 400,000. I know. I used to have that. Not no more. But you know what? It doesn't matter about how much you have. It's how you use it.
That's right.
And these two individuals right here, I brought them to MPA because they bring not only the knowledge, but the whole point of what I just brought up with the Chinchilla moment and Dr. Chunu was about bringing the right culture to ensure that right now you're not yanking out your hair because of 6'7". Panel, thank you for being here today. Melissa Jones Chunu, what I always tell Mari, I hand it over to you. Stick, you got it. Go.
Good evening. Hi, Katie. Hi, Darren.
Hi, Fred.
Hey there.
Welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you here. So this is for both of you all. Give the audience a brief background of the different roles that you served in and while you've been in education, and which one was your favorite and why. So we'll start with Katie.
Darren was pointing at me. I just want you guys to know that we have our opposite jerseys on. Even though we're the besties, don't tell us the score. We're coming back to it. I think Darren has it live, but I'm coming back to it, so don't tell me. My journey is that I've been an educator since 2006. I was an English teacher forever, and then I became an instructional coach. And I just love the teachers, especially the baby teachers, the teachers that are in their first 5 years. We don't sustain without them, so we've got to pour into them. We got to love them. I released a couple books, one of them being Culture First Classrooms. Has it been a year yet?
It was in March, so 6 months.
Not been a year yet.
Oh.
So it has been 6-7 months. I'm sorry. Okay. I've been in middle school for too long. And yeah, so I started presenting and going to conferences and getting, this message of hope and joy and real strategies out to educators everywhere. So that's kind of my journey.
That's amazing. I love the joy aspect. I love it.
You got to love the teal glasses too. I mean, they do clash a little bit with the Kelsey. jersey.
I think it kind of looks nice, though. I mean, if T Swift put on some teal glasses, maybe I'll send her some. She'll wear it.
Hey, there you
I'll
go. She might wear them. You never know, right? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, Melissa. So my story. 30 years in public education. I stepped out after being a superintendent. So I was a middle school teacher, high school principal, superintendent, and about 4.5 years ago, just really felt the calling to lean into leaders as much as possible in any possible way that I could. My first book was out, was successful, was getting a lot of opportunities to speak, to coach leaders, and so now that's what I do. I work with schools and leaders all over the country, just helping leaders to be clear, to be intentional, and to really walk in their purpose. Josh mentioned it earlier too. So my wife and I both left our full-time positions, so we were really brave. We just said, "Hey, here we go." We launched Road to Awesome Publishing almost 5 years ago. I think we just had a brand new book come out, Dr. Chris Yoakum's book, "You Don't Have to Leave to Lead," all about teacher leadership, just dropped yesterday, and I think that puts us at somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 books that we have done, including the second edition of Katie's Untold Teaching Truths, and the second edition of my book, Road to Awesome, and of course, Culture First Classrooms that Katie and I got to do. And so I guess that's my story. I am a Bronco fan. I am not going to lie, people. I have the game on right here. So a couple minutes ago when I gave it one of these, I won't say what it is because.
Oh, I thought you were encouraging me.
Okay. So I will tell you, Katie, that Mahomes threw an interception for a touchdown that got called back, and then he threw another interception that didn't get called back, but it's not a touchdown. So Denver has the ball. So there you go. So
that was
go Broncos.
Okay, all right.
Let's have some fun.
He's just trying to break my heart over here. It's okay. We have the Swiftie power that will
Still a long way to go in this game, man.
I believe.
Long way to go.
I think you guys need to digress because this is not the ESPN PGP podcast. But here we go. Speaking as
I'm just trying to bring as much to the table as I can, Josh. All right.
Got you. I'm just a horrible Commanders fan, but here we go. Hey, thank you very much, guys, for being here. And before I get into that, big shout out to Constance Sherrod for being here, our cheerleader, our number one super fan, McKeever Jeter for being on, my sister who will be co-hosting next week, Shika Houston, Kenyelle Sessions who will be in December 28th, Central Hicks, mi hermano, past show member, Edwin Garcia from New Jersey. Last week he was here, and hey, Katie, you have a fan, Reverve Mentoring. I don't know who that is, but they love you.
It's Derek. It's Derek. We just talked about you, Derek.
There you go. You got fans right here. Well, folks, panel, real quick, and depends if you know or not, but us old fogies, stogies, if you're above 2 decades, whenever you go to PD, you look at the person presenting and you say, bro, have you done the work? Bro, because there's a lot of people out there that are getting paid good money, good quotes, but they never were a principal. And no disrespect. God bless you. Like Don King says, only in America. I love it. But you got to bring some street cred, baby, especially if you're sitting in the chair. You got to make sure you have the receipts for us to sit there and take notes from you. So people know you, but a lot of people don't know you, Darren. You know that you have a beautiful podcast with over how many shows now? 300?
We dropped 245 today.
245. And you know that sometimes we have repeat guests, but people don't know everybody. I learned a lot from your podcast. So, Katie, question: what motivated you to be an educator? And number 2, do not lie, young lady. How was your first year in the classroom? And it's going to you, Darren.
You already know. I told your staff I cried every single day. I did. Yes. So it's in my blood to be an educator. My mom is a rock star educator in the Tulsa area. She was at Eugene Field for many years, became a superintendent at a small rural district. And I grew up in her light, in her shadow. And she's an amazing educator. And so I wanted to be super petulant and be like, you don't know me. Like, I'm not going to do what you're doing. And she would say to me, like, I think you're a teacher. And I'd be like, whatever. And so I have my public relations degree from the University of Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. We beat Bama. And it was yesterday. And it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
And if we don't make the playoffs, I have problems. I'm going to blame Nick Saban. Okay, so I stepped into my first classroom. I did the corporate thing for a second and a couple of years, and then I decided that my heart was in the classroom. And so I stepped into a 9th grade English class with zero strategies, not zero. Just didn't know what I didn't know. And so I started teaching the way that I've been taught, which was straight rows, read out of the book. And I wondered why I was having classroom management issues every single day because these kids were eating my lunch. And so I would cry and I would, go home and be like, I think I'm going to quit. And then my husband's like, well, we need food. And so then I go back and, and so then I just started to get a hold of people like Dave Burgess, like, Ron Clark, and I started to just get really hungry for getting better and starting to innovate inside of this system that sometimes can feel really broken. And I just believe in that. I believe that we should never arrive at done. We should always be getting better. We should always be learning, and that is just facts. And I see you, Derek. Hi. And so that was my first year, and I did come back and I did get better. And then I started teaching the teachers, and it's a blessing.
Thank you for sharing that. Senor Pepper.
Yeah. So my journey was kind of interesting. I certainly didn't set out to be an educator. I was the guy who decided he wanted to be a physical therapy major because he wanted to be the athletic trainer at the high school. And it was because as a high school athlete, I spent a ton of time in the training room. I was hurt all the time. And I just kind of fell in love with that avenue. And it just wasn't meant to be. I struggled. I changed my major a couple of different times. And finally, a friend of mine asked me, he's like, hey, would you come help me coach this basketball team? He knew that I had played basketball. He was a wrestler. He really didn't know what he was doing. So he's like, I need help. And I went and I helped coach the team. Like one practice in, I was like, I'm hooked. This is what I want to do. And it wasn't high level basketball. Guys, this was 5th grade girls basketball. So like bumblebee basketball. I mean, like we weren't running some high tech stuff here. No Duke motion offense was happening here. But it just, I don't know, it was just that spark for me. It was that thing that made me say, yeah, this is what I want to do. And went and changed my major and away I went. And I think, for me, it's one of those things I look back on. It was one of the best things I could have ever done was to just take that opportunity to lean into it. And as a first year teacher, oh no, man, it was rough. It really was. I did my first discipline referral. Here's something you absolutely cannot make up. My first discipline referral, the first time I sent a kid to the office was during my first formal evaluation. And oh yeah. The kid was mimicking me. I mean, like everything I would do, he would do it back. And finally, I'm like, I'm sorry, you got to go. And a couple of days later, the administrator who did my evaluation was like, I can't believe how patient you were. I would have kicked him out long before that. But yeah, I mean, it was an interesting first year. I was hired to teach middle school life science. I got there and found out I was teaching physical science in one section of 8th grade math. I'm like, folks, seriously, I'm the last person you should have anybody, teaching math to. I mean, like, I'm not the guy. And
It's not that bad.
yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about math. I had to take a math proficiency exam at the end of the year to keep my teacher's license in Arizona. I got a 95. Basically it was my 8th grade math is what the test was. So it was perfect.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that. Dr. Chunu. Oh, wait. Jefe. Jefe's in the house. Principal Cafele. Thank you for being here tonight. Avis Royalty. I don't know who that is. They're saying kudos to you there, Chunu. And there we go. Take a stick. Go.
Okay, so Darren and Katie, you all have written this beautiful, beautiful book. Could you hold it up again? Aha. And what is the name of it? It is called Culture First in Classrooms, correct?
Yeah,
Why-
culture versus classrooms, leadership, relationships, and practices that transform schools.
That's amazing. So why, and this is for both of you also, Darren, you can start off. Why did you all write this book and how did you all collaborate together to end up writing this book?
So there's a couple pieces behind the why. It really started with a course that I teach. I'm an adjunct professor at Fort Hays State University in Kansas. Go Tigers. And the course that I teach is advanced classroom management, which sounds really impressive, but it's just a classroom management course for second career educators. So it's a master's level course. When I first took over the course material I found not to align with what I believe about classroom management, which first and foremost is it starts with the culture in your classroom. So in a lot of ways, I teach the course as a culture course. And among the pieces that I've brought in are some of the work that Katie has done. And then I had her on the podcast and we were talking about it. And one of us, I still don't remember who it was. I probably should go back and listen to the episode. But one of us said, we should write a book together. And the next thing you know, we were writing a book together. And here's the thing I love about this. This will be the last thing I'll say about it. And then I want Katie to run on this. But I really felt like I didn't want this to just be Katie and me putting ideas out there. There are so many people out there who are so amazing in terms of what they do in their classroom and from all different spaces, high school, middle school, elementary school, special education, school leaders, and so forth, right? So we started reaching out to people that we knew that we wanted to contribute to this book. So we have 25 educators who contributed to this book. The beautiful thing about that, we didn't just throw it out on social media and say, hey, who'd like to write in our book? Every single one of them, Katie and I have either worked with, we've been in their classrooms, and we've worked right alongside them, or we have supported their schools in one way or another. And it's a pretty amazing group of people that really were the collaboration. Now, the collaboration between the two of us, I'll let Katie tell that story.
Take it, Katie.
Yeah, I think, and Darren has been a mentor to me as well. Like when I was first starting and my teal glasses started to take off, I think it was his idea that was like, you could have business cards in the shape of glasses and you could throw out fake glasses to everyone in the audience and they could win prizes. And I was like, okay. And so I like credit him too. Yeah, he's got some. Josh has some somewhere. And so then I like throw them out and I'm like so grateful for my, mentors and partnership because we know that this isn't a job that we do alone in education. Like if I'm not connecting with a kid the way that I know I need to, like I need Darren to, I need Josh to, I need Melissa to, like we need each other. And so I'm always worried about a teacher who goes into their four walls and I don't hear from them. Like I know they're drowning. And so, so Darren and I decided to write this book and we didn't really know, like we kind of stalled out on it for a while. Like we would write a chapter, he would write a chapter, I'd write a chapter. And then I was like, remember our book? And he'd be like, yeah. And I'm like, we should write it. And like, we should do it. And so then we started collecting these amazing people that we've actually seen them in their classrooms. We've seen them in their buildings. And some of them are like short little snippets about servant leadership. And then some of them are like full chapters of, innovative things that are happening in classrooms all over the country. And we started to put it together and it really it was organic. It was special. And then Darren's wife, she got on to both of us and was like, okay, you two, I think it was like a weekend. Like I was glued to my computer the whole weekend because she's like, okay, you guys are in the same school, but you're in different halls. get in the same hall. And so we wrote around all of the stories, and it really has turned into something, I think, really special and a tool that's helping educators all over. And we're really proud of it.
That is amazing. Where there is unity, there is strength. And you all have written a beautiful book. Sounds like a qualitative research to me, but that's a whole nother issue. Yeah, doctor. Anyway, so this is, what we're talking about today, building culture, is so very, very important. And so those that are listening, guys, you all should share this. You all need to share this show. You need to follow on YouTube if you're not. YouTube is the PGP podcast. Just go log in and follow. If you're on Facebook, go to MPA Jaguars and follow this show. Guys, share this out. This is wonderful information, and we need everybody to build their culture, positively build the culture of their school in order for our kids to make it, and especially in this very interesting time. Culture is really important. And so, guys, please share this powerful podcast.
Thank you. Katie, we talked about this a little bit at MPA, and you just mentioned that you're kind of like reading my mind right now. You mentioned servant leadership. What does that look like? I just got hired. I know that I'm going to become an assistant principal in January. That's happening right now. They just went through interviews. They're going to give their 2-week notice at the first semester, and they're going to start new APs or new principals in January. Servant leadership, talk to us.
Yeah, anybody who hasn't been to Josh's school should go. Just to go walk the halls and meet the teachers and see the magic that's happening there. It is a really, really special place. And I was blessed enough to get to come in July and love on your teachers for a day. But what was really cool about Josh is that he doesn't just put you in a room for PD and walk away and go work on his computer. Like, he was up there doing instructional strategies that he knows are best practices with his staff. Like, he was modeling. I was sitting there. He had the first hour or so, hour and a half of the day, and I was taking notes from him. Like, I was getting ideas from him as a presenter. So I think that's really what it is. It means that we have enough confidence and love that we are going to roll up our sleeves, we are going to get in the trenches, and we are going to do the things that need to be done. And that could be a kid vomited on the wall and you're going to go clean it up, right? I know. There are presenters that wear heels. I don't, because when I was teaching or when I was in the building, in the classroom, like, I had to be ready to break up a fight at any time. And God love those ladies who can run down the hall in their heels. I can't. And so I was in like tennis shoes, and I present a lot of times in tennis shoes because it means that you're in the cafeteria and you are helping wipe down the tables. You are helping do the things. It also means that you can step into a classroom and be innovative at any time. And that gives you street cred. If you're in your office and nobody ever sees you, that's when it starts to like bubble over and people are like, yeah, come get you some instructional coach principal. Like, yeah. But if you're there serving them with anything that they need, that's where the magic happens. Principal Kavele, that's right. That's what Josh does. And that's what servant leadership should be. We are leaders and we have to serve the people that are entrusted to us.
Well, you already cash out you and Jeff at $50. So thank you very much for the kudos right there. Thank you. Aaron, you got anything to add right there, brother?
The one thing I would say, especially to new administrators about servant leadership, is sometimes we fall into a trap with servant leadership where we think that means we have to go do everything for everybody else. For me, my first 2 years, and I know, Josh, you talk about this too, but those first 2 years as the building principal, I thought I had to be the smartest one in the room. I thought I had to solve every problem. I thought I had to like all of that, right? Because, hey, I want to be a servant leader. That's not what servant leadership is. Not at all. What servant leadership is empowering others to do for themselves. Really helping other people identify what their strengths, their gifts, their blessings are, and be able to lean into those and to help, provide what they need in order to solve their problems. But if you think when you step into that administrative role, and you know, I work with principals all over the country and I see this all the time, you don't have to do everything for them. You know, there are certain things you can do and only you can do,
Right.
and you need to do those things, and you should be delegating and supporting and empowering and lifting people up and that kind of thing. So that would be the one thing I would add about servant leadership is don't fall into that trap of thinking that means you go do everything for everybody, because that's not sustainable. You're going to burn out, you're going to wear out, and in 2 years you're going to be done.
Because then you don't want to become a firefighter. And if you want to learn about that, read someone's book on the RTA Road to Awesome Network. Chunu, go.
Man, that's oh, there's the book. Okay. empowering our workers. That is amazing, Darren. That is so true. Empowering our educators is really important. So you got to do it. So Darren, please describe to the audience how to build a culture first classroom and give some ideas for an administrative team to enhance campus culture. We need help.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. So in the book, Katie and I described 7 key areas of building a culture first classroom. The first is leadership, and that's leadership from the building level. That's exactly what I just talked about, empowering your teachers to be able to build that culture. And in the classroom, that's teachers being the leaders to empower their students to really take on some leadership roles in the classroom. I'm sure we'll talk more about that in a little bit. The second piece is relationships. We're in the people business. Bottom line, we're in the people business. So it's all about relationships. If you want to build a culture first classroom, you start by building relationships with your kids. Every single one of them, not just the ones that it's easy to build a relationship with. 3, inclusive and intentional environments. The more that we do things that help everybody feel like they are part of something special, like they are included, like they have an opportunity to contribute to the classroom, to me, that's absolutely huge. The fourth one, this one I'm super passionate about, and that's student-centered practices that are all about engagement. You want to have great classroom management? Have great levels of engagement, have incredibly well-planned lessons, have great practices and procedures and systems in place. Those things all by themselves are huge, but that student engagement piece is massive, right? Trauma-informed, such an important piece, but trauma-informed practices that genuinely help grow and heal our students. Not just, I understand it, I acknowledge it, but how do I grow and heal our students in the classroom? The sixth one is building a culture of community where everybody, again, feels like they're part of something special. And that's not just in your classroom, that's in your school, but it's also bringing your community into your classroom and into your school. And then the last one is just having genuine accountability. And to me, accountability gets such a bad rap. It's not about punishment to gain compliance. It's not about, oh man, you did something wrong, you're in trouble or whatever, right? Accountability is, I got Katie's back and I'm going to do everything I can to not let Katie down. I'm accountable to Katie. Katie's accountable to me. When schools have that kind of accountability, man, amazing things happen. Imagine a classroom where kids feel that way, where, hey, we're all in this together. It's not just about me competing against you. It's we competing together. And man, when you can build those kinds of things, look out. Man, I'm gonna get off my soapbox because I could go forever on that.
Oh, keep going. The power of we. Yes, sir. Stay on that soapbox. I told you at the beginning of this podcast, in my studies, in my research, I found that since 2020, there has been over 350 school shootings. And the number one cause of that was students' lack of sense of belonging. Now, if they don't feel like they belong and the teachers don't feel like they belong, I mean, guys, it is all about those relationships and building that culture,
right,
and being visible, all of that. Go ahead.
Well, it's not rocket science either. Some of the best people I've ever seen in terms of building relationships with kids just do it through simple connection. Somebody I met on my very first day as a brand new teacher back in 1995. Yep, I'm that old. That's why I sit far away from the camera so
It's
it doesn't make me look that old. But one of
I
my
was a
very, very
junior.
best friends, he was on my team for a short period of time as an administrator. I mean, just an amazing guy. But he will pick out things like a concert t-shirt a kid is wearing, the type of tennis shoes that they're wearing. I mean, just anything, right? I mean, literally anything you can have a conversation with a kid about. And once you start that conversation, that opens up so many other things. It gives you the opportunity to just get to know your kids. And the last thing I'll say on that, and then I'll let Katie run. If you're an administrator, show up the front door. One of the groups that I work with right now, they were working on their expectations of teachers at the beginning of the school year. I was spending some time with them, and one of the brand new members of the team, brand new dean of students, he says, I think we should tell teachers they have to greet every kid at the door every single day. And I said, I think that's a great idea. What are you going to do at the start of the day? And he said, what do you mean? I said, if you're going to expect them to be at the door every single period, you better be at the front door. You better be in the hallways every single passing period, because, you know, I stopped telling my teachers they had to do that. And we did that for a while. Then when I started showing up at the front door and others started showing up at the front door with me, it was amazing. Teachers just started doing it because we were modeling what we wanted to see as leaders. So that would be, again, I'm back on a soapbox right now, but man, just build relationships, for goodness sakes, folks. That's how you build a culture first classroom.
That's amazing. Expect what you expect. Yes, sir. Katie, you have anything to say?
Darren's over here taking us to church. We're going to
Hallelujah.
church.
It is
like
Sunday.
I like it. That's true. That is true. I think that a lot of times we get bogged down with all of the data and the RTI and the PLC and the IEP. And we love an acronym, and we forget to have a lot of fun and to find joy every single day. And that we don't outgrow play, that we should be playing. We should be having fun in our classrooms. That doesn't mean we don't have really good procedures. It doesn't mean we're not learning at high levels. We are. The rigor is there. But are we wrapping curriculum around things that matter to our kids? Learning and engagement goes up when teachers and administrators greet kids at the door and in the hallways. A Katieism. That is quotable. Derek. He's texting me too. He's distracting me. It's his fault.
You quit distracting.
So yeah, I just think, are we smiling every day? Just simple things. Are we, we're getting all upset about something that there's something we can do about it. And sometimes I tell teachers, new teachers and vet teachers, can you take 5 breaths? And if this is not going to matter in 5 years, let's not go lose our job over it. Right. And so are we finding joy? Are we finding the fun? And when it's fun, the kids come, they want to be around you. And that doesn't mean kids will be like, are we going to have free time in here? I'm like, no, we got too much to do. But we are going to do some really cool things, project-based learning. And a lot of times we have some really cool things in the book. Just, you can flip open a chapter and find a chapter called Toothpaste. You can find a chapter on engagement and different activities that different teachers are doing all over the nation. Toothpaste is... And
don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there.
Don't go there yet. It's coming up later.
Yes, don't go there.
It's coming later, guys.
Friends, don't leave. Darren's going to tell you about toothpaste.
You don't want to miss that.
Oh, please don't leave. In fact, don't leave. I need you to go and share this podcast. I need you to go. Follow if you have not already followed on YouTube at PGP Podcast, and on Facebook we're on MPA Jaguars. Just get on there and share this information, guys. This is golden. This is amazing, and this is what is going to sustain our schools. So please, please, please go out and share this podcast.
Well, because she did it again, right? You the last question, you had it right there. Toothpaste. When you said pasta de dientes, ¿qué significa eso? What does that mean? You're talking about toothpaste. Where you gave me like a subliminal, like when I worked at your school, you had bad breath. I don't know what that was about there, Katie Kinder. I thought you were throwing a jab at me. All right, now tell me, and all of America, the whole world, because we've got people from Africa, New Zealand listening to us. Tell us about the toothpaste. What is it?
I'm gonna say a little bit, but Darren, this is one of Darren's people. She's now one of my people. Is Jackie, and what is Jackie's last name?
It's Jackie Meowen.
Yes, and she's a math teacher in 7th grade, I believe. And every year she does a lesson called toothpaste, where she gets these giant things of toothpaste and she like squeezes it all out and into a little bucket or whatever, and then she asks the kids to try to put it back in, and they're just sitting there trying to put it back in, and they can't. And so then she talks about it being like words. Like once you say the words, you can't put them back in. And so when somebody's being ugly or somebody's saying something unkind, instead of, yelling about it, they just say toothpaste. And then it just makes this culture of kindness in her room. So I was just doing an anti-bullying kindness assembly in Springer, Oklahoma, and I used it. And it was beautiful. Like these kids had these rubber gloves on and they were trying to put toothpaste back in and they thought it was really cool. And then I messaged Jackie and I was like, girl, thank you. And that's it. I mean, like I've been teaching for 20 years. I'm still learning from all of the amazing teachers and educators out there. And we always should be. Anything to add to that, Darren?
Yeah, Darren.
Yeah.
Man, I think you nailed it. I mean, you really did. The number one thing, I guess, if I add anything to it, it would just be this. It's not just Jackie that says toothpaste in her classroom. It's her kids. That's a big part of that student leadership piece is she has made it that's how we collectively have this accountability for each other is somebody says something they shouldn't, somebody does something they shouldn't, and the kids say toothpaste, not just Jackie. So I think that's it's one of my favorite pieces in the book. It really truly is.
Well, following that lead, I need to go to Walmart, no, to Sam's and buy bulk toothpaste because of my mouth. So I'll be taking care of that starting on Monday there. Thank you for reminding Josh a lot about toothpaste right there. Chunu, go.
There you go.
Okay. So Darren and Katie, could you please tell the audience an inspiring story from your book? Inspire us with your knowledge. Go.
Wow. Well, so Katie went with toothpaste, which I think is awesome. Man, there's so many good ones. That's the one I was going to go with. So I'm kind of scrambling to think about one here really quick. But
I can do the tale of two. You want me to do the tale of two?
You go ahead and do tale of two, and I'll think about which one I want to do, and then we'll come back.
Look at this teamwork. Look at this collaboration. Work it out.
On the same page. So I wrote about, one of the chapters is called A Tale of Two, and it's about two superintendents. And they both it's a large district, and one really was a figurehead. Like he sat in his office, he had giant mahogany desk, and he had sparkling water, and he was pretty disconnected. When I met with him, I'm like, so what do you want for your teachers for PD? I'm like, how often do you get in schools? And he's like, basically like, I'm too important for that. And I left feeling really like kind of sad about it. And then I had a meeting the same day with another superintendent about PD for his district, same size district. And I walk in and his administrative assistant was like, Katie, he's not here. He's covering a 3rd grade class in the building 2 miles away. And I was like, oh, we can reschedule. She's like, actually, he wants you to come down there. And I was like, okay. And so I get in my car and I go to this elementary school and I go to the 3rd grade class after all the clearance. I gave my license. It was all very secure. And just let everybody know. And I go into the 3rd grade class, and here is the superintendent, and he has khaki pants on, and they are all wrinkled because he is sitting on the floor with kids, 3rd grade, reading them Charlotte's Web. And my heart just like soared. And he's like, oh, this is Miss Kinder. And they were like, hi. And And when I went back to meet with him, we sat in the teacher table that's like the round little table that the teacher sits in the middle. We sat there in these tiny chairs, and I was like, what do you think your teachers want for PD? And he's like, I already know. I already sent it out to them. And here it is. And it just, I remember leaving being like, okay, like we have people out here that are doing what they said they're going to do. And that story is in the book, A Tale of Two.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah, it's
Darren.
right at the beginning of the book too. It's such
Mhm.
it's such a powerful way to kind of set up the book. It really is great. The one that I want to share, this one comes from the relationships chapter, and it's a teacher named J.B. Gross, who I think 39 years in the classroom, something like that. Jay finally retired. Well, he's retired a couple of times, but they just keep bringing him back. But Jay has retired, and he tells a story. I mean, his whole passage is just called "It Starts with Me," and he tells several stories in there. So I won't say this story or that story because they're all really good. But he talks about how when we are out in the community, and he shares a story about a student who sees him at the grocery store, and she's like, "You shop?" And he's like, "Well, a guy's got to eat." And another story talking, seeing a kid, shopping for shoes, and he's like, "Man, those are awesome. I need 12s, or I'd be taking those right out of your hand." Another one, shopping for furniture. And what's really interesting is Jay's a guy who has performed a whole bunch of weddings for kids. He's just an incredible human being, and he's somebody who is 100% about the relationships. And that 3 or 4 pages with Jay just sharing a handful of different stories about just interesting, simple ways to make those connections, like I was talking about earlier, those interesting, simple ways to, like, here's something we could do to connect the relationship. And I love those kinds of stories, and Jay's passage is just filled with them.
That's amazing. To all the educators, we do not know what our kids are going through. When they come to school, a lot of our kids go through a whole lot. Like, they're exhausted. Literally, they're exhausted from either not sleeping from the night before, or mom or daddy been partying too hard, or they might be, second contact high. Just there's a lot of things. I encourage everybody, every administrator, if you can, go out to the car line and work the car line. And that will tell a lot of the stories of the children who you serve. Okay? Please go stand out there in that car lot. Go. It will tell the whole story, and you'll be like, oh, okay, I see. They might be living out of their cars. Okay. A lot of our kids live out of their cars. So that's amazing. That's amazing work.
So yeah, I got you, Dr. Chunu, because you know what? Recently, I think I've gotten a couple secondhand highs at that card line. I got you. I know. Trust me. I'm like, woo, good morning. And I start speaking all the languages at MPA. Just because of that card. I'm like, woo, Lord.
I'm not lying.
Like, oh, no. So just remember, guys out there, we serve all the public, and our beautiful parents send us the best they've got. It's our job to love on them and guide them to become the best version of themselves. But part of that, as educators, and we're going to go into professional development. But before that, a lot of people on these principal pages, assistant principal pages on Facebook, ask, what books are there out to read? Obviously, tonight's book, you got to read it over Thanksgiving or over Christmas. But like I always promote the same ones because you know what? I think they're very relevant. Superintendent Glenn Robbins, Calm in the Chaos. Quick little look at that. Us educators, we love these books, right? You hear it there. We love these books. And it's about for you leaders, and it doesn't matter in the classroom. The Stoics and leadership, you need it right now with 6-7. There's a big black ball that hangs over education, and a lot of people are blackballed. You cannot move up the chain because of what people at central office say about you, and you're just doomed. And Superintendent Glenn Robbins wrote another book about the dark cloud in education, about not moving up or moving in anywhere because people blackball you. And he compares it with superstars that were told you will never be successful. So he ties in music to education and how he was told he would never be an administrator. Sean Kane had a pedagogy. We are a Fundamental 5 school. We've done, I think, 1,400 instructional walks already. All our team members view each other, and we use Sean Caden's Fundamental 5 100%. And our pedagogy is increasing daily by learning from the best PD. And where is the best PD? In your campus. But you got to be able to build that trust to where your teachers are comfortable building and learning from each other. Right now, I read this on Facebook. Who has a book about classroom discipline for new teachers? Kevin Curtis has a book. Kevin Curtis, he shows you how to do it. The ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of classroom management, campus management, and district management. Another easy read. Has a lot of handouts, how you just blow them up. And 23 stories by 23 educators, with yours truly finishing off the last chapter, chapter 23 with Barbara Bray, talking about Socorro High School and MPA, how we transformed concerning a situation to success using thank you notes and other cultural aspects of improving our classrooms. Katie, you talk about learning. I talked about books. We've been talking about your great book. So the problem is becoming lifelong learners. The problem is continuing your education. The problem is school. You got to grade papers, then you got to go to the gym, then you got to go to your son and daughter's soccer practice. Someone knows about soccer. Then you got to know, you got to do all this stuff. And to sit down and read books or to whatever it is becomes a problem. A time problem, like always. So how can educators make sure that they focus on becoming lifelong learners and learning from others, such as yourselves, such as Darren's beautiful podcast, such as Edutopia, Education Weekly, all those other beautiful, free, Principal Cafele, Shika, Tammy, Sean Hurd, free stuff. But how can they carve that time? And what do you suggest?
Well, I think it's doing what you do, which we see your posts. You're like at the gym at 5 a.m., but he's also, not only is he working out, I said 5 a.m. and you said 4 a.m. I am so sorry. Please accept my most humblest of apologies. 4 a.m., which is really early. But not only is he working out his body, mind, he's also listening to a podcast or that 20 minutes to work, 30 minutes to work that you're plugging into Darren's podcast or you're listening. And I love that you put that out on Twitter/X. You're like, this podcast went over these things. If you're looking for it, that's where you find it. And listening to it, audiobooks. And when you have the time, maybe instead of doom scrolling before bed, you read a couple of pages, not the whole thing, just a couple of pages. And that's my sleep schedule has been crazy. And I have to remember to put my phone in the other room and open up a book. And so I just think it's carving out that time of stuff you're already doing so you can continue that work. And then go to the conferences and go to the PD and find the ones that fill you up.
Beautiful. Darren, what you got?
That's awfully good right there. I would tell you that, for me, one of the big things is, number one, you got to be intentional to put the time aside. I think a lot of times school leaders don't think about their own learning as something that they need to be intentional about or that they need to set time aside for. That's number one. Make it a priority. Put a little time on your calendar, or do it in the morning. You don't have to do it before school. You can do it during your day at work. Your learning is that important. You're also modeling that thing that we all put on those mission statements, the lifelong learner thing. Yeah. Model it. If you want people to be learners, be a learner, demonstrate it, model it. The second thing I would say too is I'm really big on audiobooks. So, and not everybody's books are available audiobook, including Culture First Classroom is not an audiobook yet, but a whole lot of books are available as audiobooks. So, you know what? Put that earbud in, start listening to those things and spend some time where you get the opportunity to grow. And I'll add one more. So I'll actually make it 3 pieces. Take the occasional inventory of your own skill set. Where is it you need to get better? don't just think about, here's what I need to do to grow my staff. In Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, law number 1 is the law of the lid. And essentially, every one of us have a lid that we put on our organization in terms of success. If you have a really high lid, success can be high. If you have a really low lid, success is going to be low, because your success can never go above your lid. Raise your lid by learning on your own. Be very intentional about that work. I think that's just absolutely huge. And read stuff that is outside of education also. Don't just look at education stuff only. Tons of great leadership books. And I just mentioned Maxwell. He's got 40 of them.
So true. I agree with that. And, but before that, John Hurricks, thank you for being here. Shout out to you. And right now, Mr. Anthony Cherry, very true on what you're posting on there, modeling lifelong learning. And you know what, Darren? I like listening to all these different podcasts, and I'm just gonna this is a Josh thing. We're all different individuals. We all have a different background. We all have different experiences. We all have different parenting, which makes us who we are as educators. Our parenting, our life experiences, everything. But to me, I want to compare myself not only to Josh, but to the best out there in the country. I want to be able to listen to a former superintendent who's on an RTA daily. I want to listen to superintendents that write books because they have the big picture. I want to listen to Holcomb, who teaches at the university level, but future teachers. I want to listen to all that. And then I say, am I doing what's right for the Jaguars? Am I doing what's right for our team members? Because I'm comparing myself to other styles, because that region of the country might be totally different than Texas, North Texas. Well, everyone's different than North Texas. But am I bringing the right strategies? Am I bringing the right people, the right team members to enhance the vision to ensure student success? And you can't do that by only tapping into your local district. I'm sorry. And there's a lot of districts in Texas that only stick to their ideas. And everybody else is nonsense. I'm sorry. That's not the way it works. Check out what's happening in New York. Check out in Florida, Iowa. Check out Illinois. There's a lot of successful people that get national recognition. And I like tapping into that because, as always I say, iron sharpens iron. And we learn from all these different ideas. That's why I met these two people right here. They're beautiful individuals. They're beautiful educators. And I learned about them through this. And this allowed me to become a better version of myself and to say, I'm going to steal this and not be a firefighter. I'm going to steal this and wear teal glasses and walk around with a skeleton hand. I'm going to do all this because you know what? It's about being fun. So I put that out to you out there. If you're right now, a administrator, if you're out there right now and you're having a miserable time at work, you can change that. You're not alone. You just got to be able to reach out, look at yourself and say, you know what? I'm willing to change. And I want to steal from other people, because education is a nice old tradition where we beg, borrow, and steal, and we make it our own. Chunu, go.
Do we have to say steal, or can we say borrow?
I'm not into semantics. I'm in Texas. Steal. All right. All right. I'm sorry. I'm not into semantics here. All right. Beg, borrow, steal. I'm Gen X. I'm Gen X. All right. All right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking of suspensions. That's all I'm thinking of. Anyway. Okay, so I need for our guest, I need you to finish this sentence, okay? We'll start with Katie. Katie, finish the sentence. Hey, educator, keep building your scholars by
loving them. We're going to love them. I say some of my toughest kids, I'd be like, I'm going to love you into submission. And then and then they throw a desk, and we are going to love them, and we're going to, every day is a new day, every hour is a new hour, and we're going to just keep loving our babies.
That's amazing. Love is the way. Love is the key. Love is the way to these kids who have not eaten all evening.
That's right. That's right. We're going to feed them too.
We're going to feed them. But love. All right, Darren. Finish this. Hey, educator, keep building your scholars by
building relationships with them. The more you get to know about them, the more that you spend time with them, the more they're going to engage in your classroom and be totally totally willing to accept and then buy into what it is that you're bringing to the table. But it starts with the relationship. I know we already talked about it, but it's that important.
It really is that important. The relationship is what's going to keep that kid in school. I have to tell a story about something that happened to me this past week. There was a girl, she came to school, she was in her car, yelling, screaming, kicking. Mama could not get her out of the car. I told Mom, go ahead and remove her from the car. Okay, she removed her from the car. She was kicking and screaming. Mommy left. We got her to my office. First thing I did, I said, let me go get you a breakfast. I went and got her a breakfast. She took that apple and she ate that apple like she hadn't eaten in days, which she might not have eaten in days, to tell the truth. And then she just started talking. And come to find out, she didn't like the way her hair looked. She didn't like, because she had a pixie cut, and Mom obviously hadn't combed her hair. Okay, so now I want to talk to our counselor. Our counselor went and bought a comb for us. And then so she gave me the comb, and I gave the comb I was trying to give the comb to the girl. And the girl said, would you do it, please? Would you do my hair, please? Really? Yes, I can. I took that comb and I put her in the game. I went to town. She was the cutest one there in the schools. But she's going through a lot. That little girl is going through a lot in her life. But because of the relationships that we built with her and that I've, taken, and that's what we have to do as educators. We have to take the time to get to know our students. Just, because we don't know what they're going through. And even if we do, we still have to take that time to build relationships, because that's the foundation of how we're going to get our kids to the next level, how we're going to move the needle.
Thank you for sharing that story, Melissa. And that's what needs to go out on TikTok. That needs to go out there. Not that you're miserable in fourth grade or showing videos of a teacher getting pepper sprayed. No, stop it. Let's breathe life into our profession, because we build countries, we build this nation. So let's keep promoting and helping each other. And by doing that, we're about to do our lightning round. Katie, we're starting off with you, because Darren's done this before, and both of you have done this before, but I changed the questions. I changed them so you cannot repeat them again. So remember, it's a lightning round. So I'm going to look at you this way. You're taking too long. No, going a long time on these real quick. So this is the ganas. Gana, PGP, jefe, PGP, ganas. Ganas is a spiritual word for all Hispanics. Bolivia, Argentina, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Cuba. All of us use that one word. That's the only thing that makes us a monolith. Everything else, we don't understand each other. Our foods are totally different. We talk at different speeds. We are not a monolith. Hispanics are not. But one word does unite us, ganas. So understand that right there. So Katie, Kinder, I want you to answer all of these questions with ganas. Give advice to a new teacher.
Get up the next day and keep trying. Keep doing it. Keep showing up. It's going to get better.
Read a note, an email, a text from a parent, a colleague, or student that inspired you with their words.
I just got a direct message from a student who is now going to become a teacher. She's going to become a 7th grade teacher because of the work that we did. So that's it. Lightning.
Send some flowers to an active colleague who inspires you in your work.
Dr. Chris Culver, he's in Baltimore right now, and he is about to do a big keynote, and he is awesome. Go follow him.
Name one person the audience should follow on social media that runs a culture-rich school.
That runs a culture-rich school. I think you should go and follow Tanya Jones at Tahlequah Public School. She's the superintendent there, and she is moving mountains. She's amazing.
What's your favorite comedy movie?
Happy Gilmore.
Tell the audience about the one-hit wonder that you love.
One-hit wonder. Gangnam Style. I don't know. I blacked out. I'm sorry. That's not.
What are you thankful for?
My family.
What is your favorite Christmas song and who sings it?
Mariah Carey. I don't wanna love for. Oh wait, don't do that. Okay, next.
How can people get a hold of you?
Find me. Look up the Teal Glasses Lady and slide in my DMs and email me and just do some Googling and reach out. I would love to hear from you.
So our shows normally get like around 3,000 hits on all platforms. I'm not as big as Darren at all, but I'm gonna let you know one thing. Take it from somebody that's an active administrator on an at-risk school with all tier 3 kids.
That's right.
These two individuals right here, you need them at your school. If you're having issues that have to do with culture, bring them. I know what I'm telling you. I'm not faking the funk, as Jefe says. I'm letting you know, because that's what we all need. Someone to bring us new teal glasses and put them so that we all see differently. Here we go, Darren Peppard. I've heard your name being said so many different ways in different podcasts, but right now it's Darren Peppard, who loves eating Dawn Burger. Give advice to a new teacher.
So the advice I would give a new teacher is patience. Keep showing up, like Katie said, and again, build relationships.
Read a note, an email, a text from a parent, a colleague, or student that inspired you with their words.
It's a pretty lengthy emails or message, but so I won't read the whole thing. But just a couple of days ago, I got a direct message from a former student of mine. She just basically said, hey, I graduated in 2009, and the only reason I graduated from the high school was because of you. You refused to give up on me. You kept pushing me. There was a day I was ready to drop out, and you wouldn't let me do it. And now, guys, she is a PhD candidate. I mean, how about that? And oh my God, did it make my day to hear from her. Her name is Ashley. I was just thrilled with that.
Shout out, Ashley. Send some flowers to an active colleague who inspires you in your work.
So I will shout out Dr. Frederick Buskey, who I spent a couple of days with him in North Carolina last week. The Assistant Principals podcast, absolutely stellar podcast, and just a brilliant human being, somebody I really enjoy being around and learn a lot from.
Name one person the audience should follow on social media that runs a culture-rich school or classroom.
Yeah, he doesn't run the school, but as a seventh grade teacher, he does a lot to run the school. His name is David James. He is at Harold Winkler Middle School in Concord, North Carolina. Their work for the Wolfpack Workshop, untouchable, and I got the opportunity to facilitate Wolfpack Workshop last Friday in Concord.
Beautiful. He'll be on the show in 2 weeks. What is your favorite comedy movie ever?
I'm going to combine a comedy movie and Christmas, and I'm going to tell you, Christmas Vacation, man. It doesn't get better than that.
Which one?
Oh, the original, right? I mean, yeah, Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon, Chevy Chase. I mean, come on.
Tell the audience about the one-hit wonder that you love.
Man, I struggled with this one because there's a lot of them, but I'm going to go with Dexy's Midnight Runners. Come on, Eileen.
What are you thankful for in life?
Oh, family, health, relationships, man. That's what it's all about.
What's your favorite Christmas song and who sings it?
I'm going to give you this one, Blue Christmas, but it's the Lumineers version of Blue Christmas. It is phenomenal.
And how can people get on the road to RTA?
Hey, get on the road to awesome. You got a couple of different ways. Number one, go to our brand new website, darrenpepper.com. All things speaking, all things training right there. Everything about Road Awesome is at roadawesome.net. And then follow me on social media, Darren and Pepper, literally everywhere.
Beautiful panel. Thank you for being here today. Don't sign off once we sign off. Thank you, everybody. Please make sure that you like and share the show. Dr. Chunu, thank you for being here today. Join us next week for Kelly Riley Hastings and her brand new book with co-host Dr. Ashika Houston. Next week, joining me because we all know Dr. Mari Moreno's with the hippopotami, with the hyenas. I don't know where she's at, but she's somewhere in Africa, and we're sending her blessings, safe travels to whatever she's doing. But ultimately, just remember one thing, guys. You're not alone. None of you are alone. You choose to be alone. Don't be frustrated and taking it out on your culture, your school culture, on your district culture, on everything by posting it on social media. You need to make sure you breathe life, love, and appreciation. And if you can't find it in your campus, find it in the neighboring school. If not there, I guarantee you got millions of people right here. and they will reach out. It is rarely the time that I reach out to somebody and they don't reach back out to me. That's why we have so many guests. So I just go crazy and I send out invitations to everybody. And the majority, often than not, Darren will tell you they will reach back to you and say, I just can't at this day, but reach out to me later on. Because you know what? That's why we're in the best profession. The profession that creates all the other professions, education. And we're learning from each other. So reach out to us. Join us next week. And remember, you're not alone. Reach out to everybody. We love you. We care about you. Panel, say goodbye.
Bye, friends. Thank you.